Welcome to this overview of Daily Math Fluency. My name is Kristen Galden, and I am with Hand to Mind, and I'm going to get you started with Daily Math Fluency. This is arguably one of the most important concepts that we are teaching students, particularly in the elementary grades. Math fluency is defined as the ability to apply strategies accurately, efficiently, and flexibly, and to recognize when one strategy is more appropriate to apply than another. Numeracy is the ability to use mathematical relationships to reason about numbers and numerical concepts. Components of numeracy: flexibility, efficiency, and accuracy I just mentioned. In addition to that, we have creativity, algorithms, mental math, and speed. So let's try one. If you look at this, 25 times 28, this is an equation that most students, even adults, would have to think about. They wouldn't immediately know the answer. How would we have worked this out? Traditionally, I can tell you that you probably would have done the exact same thing that I do. 25 times 28, line it up in a vertical equation, multiply, drop the zero, and then add the two numbers together, and that's your answer, right? That's how we were taught, and that's really the only way I remember being taught. But that's different than what you see here. So I want you to think about this. How would you solve this other than the method that I just described? Why don't we look at the method that you see at the bottom? What's happening here? Looks like we are multiplying and dividing these numbers. So let's look at 25. We are multiplying that by 2. This is a strategy that's also teaching students about inverse operations. If I manipulate or multiply 25 by 2, I have to do something to 28 to make this work. And because multiplication and division are inverse operations, I have to divide the second number. If I also multiply the second number, my answer is going to be entirely too large. So because I multiplied the first number by 2, I'm going to divide the second number by 2, and I get 14. 50 times 14. Still not probably an equation that most students can readily answer. They're not going to rattle that off the top of their head and know it. Some might be able to figure it out after a few seconds, but it's still not a number that is quickly identifiable. But let's take it one step further. What if we multiply 50 times 2? We get 100. We know that anything that ends in a 0 with a 1, it's part of the base 10 number system. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 is easier to multiply by, easier to really do any operation with. That's why we put so much emphasis on really teaching students about the number system and understanding the base 10 or the 10ness of a number. So then we divide 14 by 2, we get 7. 100 times 7 is 700. If I were to work out 25 times 28 by hand using the traditional method, I would also get 700. But by learning to identify strategies that I can quickly use to apply to this particular problem, I was able to get to that answer without ever writing anything down. And that's really the power of daily math fluency. Let's think about what you currently use in your classroom for a moment. Even if you use a core math program by a big publisher, it is likely lacking the fluency component. So this is an excellent supplement for anybody's classroom. Daily math fluency is a teacher-driven or routine. It's a routine that would take about 10 to 15 minutes a day. It is a routine that is led by you as a model. You are modeling the strategies, the thought process, the questioning, modeling working with the manipulatives. And we're going to talk about all of this in more depth here in just a moment, but these are the components that are included. Anchor charts. There are 120 number strings. There are 60 math talks. There's a teacher guide. There are also demonstration manipulatives. These manipulatives are included. Every piece that you see here is included in the program and is available at point of use for you to utilize. A differentiator for daily math fluency is the strategies and the hands-on approach to fluency using manipulatives. Here you can see the manipulatives across grades K-5. Notice some are more heavily used at K2 and some at 3-5, but some do span across the grade levels, like the open number line. Starts in grade 1 and is used all the way through grade 5. With daily math fluency, students have an opportunity to learn and master strategies. They understand them and they can apply them using manipulatives. They become very good at identifying what manipulatives should be used. They practice it and they apply them to other scenarios. So So now let's look at number strings and math talks. Math talks are sometimes known as number talks, and we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. But a number string, the definition is a set of related math problems designed to teach strategies based on number relationships, whereas a math talk or a number talk is designed to elicit multiple strategies and provide opportunities for students to reason about the relationships in the numbers and make connections in mathematics. Number strings and math talks work together. So let's look a little bit deeper at what a number string is. It's designed to help students construct a particular strategy, a big idea, a model. It encourages students to be efficient. The teacher strategically chooses who shares by asking questions to find out what target strategies students use, and then the teacher models student thinking. So there's that model. With number strings, you are teaching appropriate strategies through repeated practice. The daily math fluency routine consists of what? Number strings and math talks, right? So there's two parts to this routine. The number strings, you're going to do those on an average of 3 to 4 times per week. Really allows you to hone in on one strategy. You model with the demo manipulative, and again, you teach that efficiency. Let's look at an example number string here. So using doubles is the sample strategy. You can see on the left is the problem that's posed. It says 2 plus 2, show 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom for 3 seconds. Gives you a picture of the manipulative that you're using in this particular routine. It shows you exactly how it should be set up so that you're showing it correctly for the students. And then you see the questions. So I would have my demonstration rec and rec up. I would then let my students look at it for just a few seconds, and then I would start asking questions. How many beads? How did you see them? It really encourages students to sort of open up. What is their interpretation of what you're showing them? They come up with all sorts of things. Some of them are completely different than what you're trying to show them, but they can be just as beneficial for other students to hear. But the goal is that they can see 4 and they know that 2 and 2 is 4. So again, math talk or number talk, there are 60 of. It promotes active participation to assess student thinking. It's done 1 to 2 times per week. So on the days that you're not doing the number string, you're doing the math talk. It allows students to elicit various strategies. It encourages active participation and mathematical discourse. And it gives students an opportunity to detect and correct. You think about all of those mathematical practices that students are expected to master. Asking questions, justifying their answer, make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. Math talk, all of those things are practices that students are really getting a lot of exposure to with this routine. And they're getting an opportunity to apply those to other scenarios. This is an example of what you'll see on one of your math talk cards. You can see all of the strategies that I'm using are on the left. Any manipulative that goes with those strategies is going to be pictured to the right. And then at the bottom, I have notes, things to highlight, things to emphasize, and then specific questions to ask my students throughout the routine. You have particular strategies at your grade level that are important and that are emphasized in the standards. They are strategies that you are likely teaching in your core math instruction, and they are strategies that students are expected to master at each grade level. Those strategies are going to also appear in your grade level in the daily math fluency routine. If there are strategies that you are teaching in your core program, students are going to have an opportunity to practice those in the daily math fluency routine. So it's really an extension of what you're doing in your core math instruction. In addition to that, there is a variety of strategies that you're going to introduce your students to and give them an opportunity to practice. The strategies are scaffolded. The strategies are aligned to the core grade level expectations called for in the standards. They are going to accommodate more of your learners. More of your students are going to understand the strategies because they're scaffolded, and we're giving them more opportunities to grasp. In an effort to make sure that you are supported in implementing this particular routine and putting this routine into practice, we have come out with what we call a Getting Started guide. This guide is wonderful. It is a guide that includes all of the essential information that we would want a teacher executing this routine to have. In this guide, we also have sample lesson plans. So I talked about number strings. I talked about math talks. This is how all of those pieces fit together into a routine that you can implement and execute with fidelity. So let's look at this example at grade 1. We know that we do number strings 3 to 4 times a week. We do math talks 1 to 2 times a week. So you can see here, I am starting and ending my week in a math talk. In the middle on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when I'm going to do the number strings. The important aspects of this routine, the things to emphasize, the noteworthy points are listed on the bottom for you. And this is the same thing at grade 5. It varies slightly. I am actually going to be doing my number strings on 4 days, every day but Thursday. On Thursday is the only day that I have my math talk. Again, this is going to vary based on what strategies you're teaching. We want you to be able to access this guide, and to do so, you'll go to handtomind.com, locate programs in the top right. From the programs menu, you're going to choose Math Fluency. You'll be brought to the program page, and you'll see with the arrow here that I can download the Getting Started guide directly from the banner. We've been walking through the teacher-led Daily Math Fluency Kit. This is a K-8 routine that is available. On the right, you see the student piece. So while the Daily Math Fluency routine is entirely teacher-led and is meant to be a modeled routine that students are participating in, the Daily Math Fluency Centers offers an opportunity for them to practice and apply what they're learning in the routine. That includes activities and games, but it's essentially your ready-made center kit that really puts what they're learning in the routine into practice, and it gives you relevant, engaging activity options for centers that align to your core math instruction, and it reinforces what you're teaching. We also have a brand new Math Fluency Intervention Kit, which is essentially what I just walked through, but it's organized by topic. It still consists of number strings and math talks and demonstration manipulatives. It's really giving you an opportunity to focus on a specific topic. It might be single-digit addition and subtraction. It might be multi-digit multiplication and division. So you would have all of the number strings and math talks and routines for that specific topic. Thank you for taking the time to walk through Daily Math Fluency with me today. We hope you found this video to be helpful and encourage you to reach out to Hand to Mind with any questions you may have. Until next time.